Welcome to this short-ish video, I don't know how long it will go for, video on my takeaways from a meeting I have just left with a company called A Mind for Adventure, Ian Pitchford and his lovely wife. And it was a session entitled Be the Best You, and it's a meeting that I went to with a Meet the Expert, which is a Plymouth enterprise group that runs until March. And yeah, the takeaways were just phenomenal, so I thought I would share. So I hope you enjoy. If you do like this video, please subscribe, like, comment, share, all that good stuff, and let's get into some content. So he started the session by saying or asking, how do you take charge of yourself? The wisest person in your life is you, but we often don't believe that. We often tell ourselves stupid little stories, how other people know more about us than we do, and how other people know more in general than we do. But actually, we know everything we need to know, and we discover it as we go through our lives, which I thought was quite an interesting fact. And an interesting quote that he came up with, sorry if I keep looking down, I'm got my wonderful notes that I took during the session, but a quote by Eric Butterworth: are you going to go through life, or are you going to grow through life? And the whole point behind that quote is basically, if we're not growing and we're not changing, then are we really living? So are you doing, or are you stucking? Because if we don't change, we stay where we are. And there's that big quote by Einstein where stupidity or something like that, idiocracy, is basically the belief that everything will change even though you don't change anything. So you get different results by doing the same thing, and you keep doing the same thing, you're just going to keep getting the same results. If you want different results, you need to change the things that you're doing. Other things that he covered, it's just trying to sift through all these amazing notes. It's an absolutely brilliant session. The fake it till you make it expression. I was told to fake it until I make it when I went through my teacher training, and I won't mention her name, but it was the worst advice I was ever given, because if you're faking it, how are you being the real you? So I've always struggled with that phrase, and I've never known a different phrase to replace it with, and now I do. So I want to share that, and it's believe it until you become it. So, or be it until you believe it. 2 seconds. Yes, I did. Yeah? So be it until you believe it. So not fake it till you make it, because fake it, you're not being authentic, you're not being true to you. But if you're trying to be something that you're not already, but you want to be that in the future, then be it until you believe it. And believe that you can be it until you are actually becoming it. And I like that a lot better. Another wonderful quote that he came out with, or that he reminded me of, Yoda from The Empire Strikes Back, 1980s film, brilliant film. There is no try, there is only do or not do. Try comes from the French meaning to strive for something. Think of a try in rugby, you score a try. But when you are trying, you're giving the opportunity to fail. Whereas if you're doing or you're not doing, it's very black and white. You're either doing it and you'll succeed, or you're not doing it and you won't succeed because you're not doing it. So change the way you think and do, but what are you going to do with that new thinking? So change the way you're thinking, but make sure you do something with the way that you're thinking, the new way of thinking. A lot of the time, there's a lot of miscommunication between people. So businesses, talking with a coach, or just people in general in relationships, we have a lot of miscommunication because we're basically trying to work out what the other person is thinking that we're thinking. So it comes back to that wonderful quote that I've shared before with, I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I'm not who my kids think I am. I am who I think you think I am. And because we're constantly trying to work out what the other person thinks of us or thinks of what we're doing, we're never being our authentic self. We're never thinking, what do I think? And if we start thinking, what do I think? And we're both thinking, what do I think? Not what do they think I think? We're going to be a lot clearer, and a lot less miscommunication will happen because we're both making clear points. He then moved on to the difference between extroverts and introverts. I have always been an avid introvert, which basically means I draw my energy to reinvigorate myself from inside me. I don't need outside praise or to pull on other people or anything like that. So I could do a public speaking event. I could go and speak to hundreds of millions of people or whatever, speaking to however many people are watching this video. And while most people think that an introvert is shy, quiet, which I am sometimes, not shy, but quiet, I can sit and do this because I'm confident that this information needs to be heard, and I don't care what other people think. Some people will like it, some people will hate it, and that's absolutely fine. That's an introvert. It's not just someone who's shy and backs down to everything. It's someone who draws their energy from inside themselves. And an extrovert's the opposite. An extrovert gains their energy to reinvigorate themselves from other people. The trouble with that comes from the extroverts need interaction. They need to sometimes compromise themselves to get a response. So they'll act the fool to get a response from other people. They want people to laugh. They want people to like them, which is absolutely fine. And same with introverts. It can be quite damaging to only draw energy from yourself because other people will think that you are not a people person. Well, you might be, but you equally need some time to yourself each day. And it's lovely to hear that that is perfectly normal in both senses. It's up to the way you are, and other people just have to accept it, and that's cool. What else do we have? Rather than teaching information, rather than spouting information at people and expecting people to learn from what we're saying, it's better to get people to think for themselves, to critically think about ideas and that sort of thing. So what we're doing when we're coaching or when we're helping other people is that we are helping people with solutions. We're not focusing on the problems, we're focusing on the solutions that they could use. So it's not problem solving, it's solution finding. A subtle difference in words makes massive difference. Another quote that he gave us from a guy called Peter Saga: people never rise above the opinion of themselves. Your beliefs are a magnet that attract your reality. So whatever it is that you believe will become your reality. So if you believe you're shy and retiring, your environment will be one where you are shy and retiring. If you believe that you can succeed, guess what? You're going to succeed. Now, we got towards the end of the session, and he gave us a couple of things that we can do to stimulate our parasympathetic system, which is basically when we are sympathetically stimulated. So we are overthinking, we're getting stressed, we've got all these things going off in our mind. You can't focus on anything, really. You overstimulate and you literally can't see things that are right in front of you. You're trying to leave the house in a rush and you physically cannot find your keys, and somebody else goes, they're right in front of you. No, they're not. They're right. No, they're not there. No, I can't see them. And then they literally pick them up from the table right in front of you and put them in your hand, and you instantly turn around and say, well, you just put them there. They were there all along, but you couldn't see them because you were overstimulated. So he gave us something, because it's basically our vagus nerve that controls how we're feeling. And our vagus nerve is very much controlled by what we're thinking and what we're feeling and all of that. So when you're stressed or when you're in a really negative emotion, you tend to squash down. You are basically protecting your internal organs and squashing your vagus nerve. So one thing he said, when you want to stimulate your sympathetic system and instantly feel better, sit up straight, pick a spot on the wall that is above your eye line, And while you're focusing on that spot on the wall above you, on the other side of the room, be aware of all the things that are around it in your peripheral vision and focus on them. So you're looking at the spot, but you're focusing on your things that you can see around your peripheral. Then what you do is you tense your stomach muscles and you breathe out sharply. Okay? That relaxes your diaphragm. Then you do 12-second breathing. So you 5 seconds in, 4, 5, a bit slower obviously, but then pause and then 5 seconds out. 3, 4, 5, then pause, then in and out, in and out. And you do that through belly breathing. So two-thirds of the breath you would be breathing in and expanding your stomach. So if you think you're lying on the floor and you've got a teddy bear on your tummy, the teddy bear would be rising up as you breathe in. The last third would be your chest. When you take a deep breath in, your shoulders shouldn't rise. Okay, so deep belly breathing. It's mostly in your stomach, a third in your chest. Your shoulders hardly move. Okay, and you just repeat that until you flood your vagus nerve and you feel so much better. It can literally take you from a little bit out there, a little bit stressed, to chilled quite quickly. Another tip that he gave us, just find it in my book, is mark what you're thinking. So you might be really annoyed at something and you could be like, I'm really, really pissed off. And you're telling yourself, I'm really pissed off. And you've got all that anger and all that everything else going on inside of you. But if you can switch that to, I'm peeved off. And then I'm tinkled off. And then eventually you get to, well, if I'm tinkled off, then I'm a little tinkler. I'm a little tinkler, short and stout. Here's my handle, here's my spout. Try it. It's a very quick way of telling you it, but it really, really helped. Like, you focus on something that's really, really pissed you off. And then actually, rather than telling yourself, I'm really pissed off, tell yourself, I'm tinkled off. I'm a little tinkler, and you instantly feel better. It's a really, really fun way of actually trying it. And then the final thing that he left us with was, you can't change how someone else is feeling. You might want to, you might really, really try to, but you cannot change how someone else is feeling because you cannot control their thinking. But if you go up to someone and you say, how are you today? And they go, I'm a little bit pissed off, or I'm a little bit grumpy, or I'm really annoyed. Rather than go, oh, well, I can see that, or let me do this to help you, or do something to help them, or whatever. Don't do any of that. Just simply say, how would you like to feel? Well, obviously, I'd like to not be pissed off. Okay. How can I help you to feel less pissed off? How can I help you to feel how you want to feel? And then listen and respond to how they tell you. It's up to them how they get unpissed off, or how somebody else helps them to feel better. You don't decide that. So don't just do stuff that you think will help, because it's not going to help, because you're not them. That thing that you're doing might help you, but it's not going to help them. So ask them, what can you do to help them feel better? And then listen and do it. They might just say, I just need some space. Just leave me to it. I'll come to you when I'm ready. Then give them the space. So I hope you found this interesting. It has gone on for nearly 15 minutes, so if you're still with me, thank you very much. And as a reward for still being here, let's have another view of Mount Wise. Because I love this part of the world. And the sun's starting to go down, we've got some nice cloud formation. And yeah, I've just had a really lovely day that I really wanted to share with you all. I will put this information in a blog post as well, which might go out before or after this video. Haven't decided yet. But it will go out at some point today. So I hope you've gained some value. If you do, or if you like the way I present, or if you want any more information, look me up. All of my contact details are wherever you found this video. Rethink your perspective. So like, share, follow, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And I'm going to leave you to it now because my hand's gone numb because it's quite cold. So have a lovely rest of your day wherever you are, and talk to you soon. Bye.